Hello everybody, Salty Sweet Ren, and welcome back to Swooning Over Stans, the Grunkle dating sim. And last time, we actually had a private boxing lesson with Stan, which it actually ended in a tie. I'm not gonna lie, that surprised me. But, I mean, it went well at least. Also, as a side note, my mom actually apparently has been following my YouTube channel, and she is very taken aback by all the thumbnails with a very rugged looking Stan, because she's actually watched Gravity Falls and she's like, what? That's Stan? Like, she's a little weirded out by it, but oh well. I'm going through with this anyway. I think I mentioned in the previous episode that, like, apparently she might have come across some of it before. I have no idea if the thumbnail of the last episode... Anyway. So it starts off, I'm pretty sure this is while I was like... What in the... When you open your eyes, you're being stared at by a fat, wet snout. Ah! Oh! Waddles, it's you! The plump pig is lying on your chest, and boy, he's, real hefty. Is that Mabel? Ren! Ah! You jolt up at the sudden voice from above you, sending Waddles falling from your chest into your lap with a scream. You turn to see Mabel, all metal-filled smile and rosy cheeks, barely able to contain her glee despite nearly scaring the life out of you.
Hey there, sleepyhead! It's lunchtime!
Is it? What happened to breakfast? A glance at your phone tells you you've slept in past noon. Instead of leaving and letting you get ready for the day, though, Mabel sits right down the edge of the mattress with you and looks at you expectantly.
So, how have things been going with Grunkle Stan? Has he told you about feelings yet? Have you two kissed?
Oh boy. You're not sure if you would tell her even if those things did happen. Why don't you ask Stan?
Because he won't tell me a thing! Come on, Ren! I thought we have a bond that lets me learn how much I'm approving my Grunkle Stan's second chance at love! Third chance. Fourth chance, actually. Let's not put numbers on that. Okay, maybe there haven't been any milestones, but things are going great, right?
What do you think? You'd probably know him better than I do.
Absolutely! Definitely! And I think you should tell him how you feel!
I'll keep that in mind, but can I get changed now?
Oh, right! Silly me! Come on, Waddles!
They leave, and you're left to your thoughts. With all the hectic supernatural stuff in Gravity Falls that inexplicably often finds itself in or near the shack, you haven't been able to spend much significant time with Stan since your boxing session. I guess that means that there has been some supernatural stuff happening? You've only found short moments, like a late-night game of cards that ran longer than expected because, by the end of it, you'd both just left a deck on the table and you listened to him tell a story about how one time well, you guess that was a significant amount of time. You just never really wanted those moments to end. And just yesterday, Ford came up to you in the kitchen, standing with a bowl of cereal in hand that he was apparently in the middle of eating, and basically gave you a condensed version of, "If you break my twin brother's heart, I'll make you regret it." The bowl of cereal turning out to be 95% marshmallows did not make him seem any less intimidating. You're not sure why he did that. As far as you know, there's nothing official between you and Stan. Besides, Stan and Ford don't even live on land anymore. They'll be setting sail again, exploring the seas and documenting the oddities of the world. From what you've heard about it already, it's intense stuff that keeps him on the move and untethered. And you're no expert, but your car's looking pretty close to done, meaning you'll be leaving Gravity Falls soon enough. All you can do is hope you're not leaving with any regrets. I hope I'm leaving with my car looking more intact than it actually is in real life. That'd be good. Heading out through the back door so that you don't disturb Seuss's current tour, you round the house to where your car has stood still for the past 2 weeks. Sure enough, There you find Stan, staring thoughtfully into the hood before he spots you and brightens.
Hey, how's it hanging, Ren?
Fancy finding you here, I guess. Outside your own house, where Flora told me you'd be.
What can I say? I'm unpredictable. Never know what I'll be up to next. Your car's almost good to go, as far as I can tell. I'm planning to take her for a quick test run around this town to make sure.
So while I've paused for a moment while I took a drink, I also want to mention, I think I found a way to edit the audio so that it does not get, like, super loud at random times, which should hopefully be a huge help. I'm also trying to keep it down because right now my mom and my brother are home, and yeah, they've been the most vocal about this, apparently. At least I'm coming close to the end, which is a shame because it is a fun game, but I won't get any more commentary from my family about it, so. Sounds fun. When do we go?
You ain't coming. I don't want you inside if there's an explosion or something. There won't be, but it's a precaution.
Okay.
But if you are free tonight, I figured we would, celebrate.
Yeah, sure. What do you have in mind?
Can't tell ya. That just ruined the surprise. All you gotta do is worry about yourself. Meet me back here in a few hours, and wear your best studs.
Stan shoots you a wink, twirling your car keys around his fingers before he turns and gets into your car. Unsure why you couldn't go with him and hang out tonight, you wave goodbye and watch carefully as he revs the car to life. It works! And hey, no explosion! If he gets it on the first try, that's already totally fixed up from my real car. He gives you a thumbs up, which you return, and pulls out onto the dirt road towards town. A handful of hours later, and it's just about time to get ready for your date. Stan got back to the shack a moment ago, and through the window you'd spotted Mabel talking to him outside. Though you couldn't figure out what they were saying, you laughed to yourself when she took his face in her hands, squishing his cheeks and making him look straight in the eye. A cute intimidation tactic, maybe? After rummaging through all the clothes you'd brought with you for your trip, you're relieved to find an outfit that fits the occasion. It's... I only have casual clothes. I don't have anything super flashy. I don't really have anything classic. But Stan would probably want... I think I do have some stuff that kind of falls under classic. Kind of fits under classic, I guess. Feeling good about the outfit you chose, you head outside to meet Stan. You step out onto the back porch and are met with his back to you, looking off into the distance. You're about to call his name when he turns in your direction, and your words die on your tongue, speechless at the sight of him. He looks handsome. Your eyes catch on the way his gold chain glints in the light, drawing your attention to his proudly exposed chest, helpfully framed by the cut of his shirt. The buttons almost strain to contain how good he looks, and your gaze follows the line lower to how... Stan whistles playfully at the sight of you.
Aren't you a sight for sore eyes?
You're not so bad yourself. You sure clean up nicely. You give him a once-over, as though you hadn't already been looking earlier. Stan's cheeks flush the faintest pink as he smooths out his jacket in response, posture straightening proudly.
This look used to be all the rage back in the day. Trends may fade, but Stan Pines has still got it.
So, where to? Hands in his pockets, Stan nods over to the Stanmobile, a few feet in front of you.
Only one way to find out.
He offers his arm and escorts you to the passenger's side, opening and shutting the door for you before heading over to the driver's side. While you were already looking forward to this, the way Stan looks makes you all the more eager. And that cologne? It suits him. You watch him, thinking to yourself just how crazy this all is. Your brain is telling you to get a grip, but your cheeks are beginning to ache from smiling so much and you can't bring yourself to mind. once again in the car with Stan. The El Diablo soon purrs to life and you're on your way. Since you don't know your destination, you're not sure how long the ride will be. Not like you mind at all. Should we make conversation? Yeah, I think making conversation probably. You always this mysterious with your dates? Luring them off into the night with a promise of a good time? Stan chuckles.
Nah, only the ones I like being around.
Good to know.
Besides, you should definitely know what to expect from a drive with me by now.
The unexpected?
Bingo!
You gaze out the window again, unable to keep the smile from your face. Another minute or so passes before Stan speaks again.
Alright, we're almost there. Close your eyes.
Really?
Yes, really. And I've got a blindfold in the glove box if you can't keep yourself from peeking.
Somehow it sounds like he's not joking about that last part. After what you've seen with him, it wouldn't be a surprise. I'll leave that one alone. You laugh, but close your eyes as he's told you to. It's fine, I've got it. Promise I won't peek. You keep your eyes closed for another minute or two as Stan begins to tell you about the time he was hogtied and blindfolded by some thugs on the side of a desert road. Just as he gets to the good part about how he had to hitchhike using only his nose. What? The car comes to a stop. You both hear and feel Stan put the car into park and realize there's muffled music not too far from you. Can I look now?
Hold on!
Stan exits the car, and the footfalls tell you he's walking to your side. In a second, he's there, opening your door. Can I look now? Stan chuckles.
Unless you can walk with your eyes closed.
You open your eyes to see a rundown diner. Greasy's diner, to be exact. The building is about as slightly shabby in appearance as it was when you last visited, but under the glowing "We Have Food" sign is an endearingly hand-painted banner reading "Disco Night." Through the windows, you can spot energetic silhouettes and flashing multicolored lights. Oh, hey! Oh, that's right, in the previous episode, we told Stan we'd like to go actually dancing. This is it. Hardly grandiose, but it's still beautiful. Oh my gosh, Stan! He takes your hand and helps you out of the passenger seat.
What? You don't like it?
You remembered!
I know you've been dying to see the magic I make on the dance floor. Seemed cruel to keep you waiting any longer.
What an honor, I guess. It'll be an honor to witness such magic in the making.
Now, I try to stay humble.
Oh, new music. This is pretty fun. As you step inside, you're greeted by the sight of a dance floor. A disco ball reflects fragments of colorful spotlights around the room, and even the cow skull above the jukebox has string lights wrapped around its horns. This is cool. There's a good amount of people here. It's mostly older adults, which is unsurprising given the music genre, but there are a few younger folks who seem to be enjoying themselves unironically. You're surprised you don't see Mabel and her friends here. You finally look back at Stan and catch him pretending he wasn't just watching you for your reaction seconds earlier. You didn't do all this just for me, did you?
Nah, it's a monthly thing that picked up a while back. I lend him some equipment for it every time, but I may have knocked it up a week or 4.
He's smirking. He's so proud of himself. You roll your eyes, but give him a fond smile. Well then, let's dance already! Grabbing Stan's hand in yours, you lead him out onto the dance floor and he follows eagerly.
Alright, we can start you off with something easy.
Nuh-uh, I need to see your moves first. Make sure you're the real deal. Not like I'm any better at dancing, but...
Got any requests then?
I love how the first option is dab. You know what? Dab, freestyle, or foxtrot? I am tempted. Okay. Sure. Let's ask him to do a dab. Stan groans.
That thing Mabel and Dipper always do ironically.
You dab in confirmation. Stan tries and looks like he just hurt his shoulder. You take pity on him. Foxtrot's a thing, right? Can you do that? Stan's still a little sweaty from his attempt at being hip with the kids, but back in his comfort zone now that he looks more at ease.
Hey, there's a good one. I'm not quite the young buck I used to be, but I still got some trot in me.
And you dance. Before you know it, the song is passed. And then another, and another. You weren't too sure at first, but Stan's actually a really good dancer. He's light on his feet, and he's definitely got rhythm. He knows just where to guide you, how to hold you. Oh, you hope your hands aren't sweaty. Are you sweaty? Your face sure feels hot when he shoots you a wink before leading you into a half turn that lands your back flush against his chest.
You're keeping up pretty good, Ren. You having fun?
He asks low in your ear in a way that makes your heart flutter as you sway together. Only because I have an amazing partner.
I could say the same thing.
Stan laughs, bringing you back to face him. But the song ends only seconds later, and he releases his hold on you. It's a slow song, and Stan raises his brow at you questioningly. An eyebrow raise is pretty easy to read, so I'll take initiative. Of course you want to continue. Laughing, you take his hand in yours again and guide it back to your side. Stan beams and brings you closer still. You're about to rest your palms against his chest, but change your mind and rest him on his broad shoulders. You're almost nervous to look him in the eye, but when you chance to glance upward, you're so pleased with what you see. You've been close before, intimately even, but this is a whole new ballpark. Face to face, moving slowly as one, nothing to distract the one from the other's gaze. You try not to think about how good he smells, or how comforted and electrified his hold makes you feel, and you definitely try not to think about how a slight lean forward would easily bring his lips to yours. Oh boy. The song changes again, almost too soon you think, but Stan just picks up his tempo to match, keeping your proximity the same. By now you don't even have to look at your feet. The pace quickens and you both get caught in it. A swing, a twirl, another swing, and you're dipped in Stan's arms so smoothly that it takes you a split second to realize why you're nearly upside down. Stan's grinning down at you, panting from the intense bout, holding the dip. I'm speechless. Surely there are stars in your eyes as your gaze holds Stan's in amazement. Apparently pleased at what he sees, he laughs and brings you back up into his arms to finish off the dance, just as the song ends. A quick glance around the room lets you know that most of the surrounding patrons were watching the two of you dance. They look away as you notice, some whispering and some getting back to their own technique. It's Stan who speaks first.
You hungry?
Not what you were expecting, but you're kind of relieved he's keeping the mood light. I'm pretty thirsty. I actually am in real life. Just took care of that, though. But yeah.
I'll get you a soda or something.
Instead of waiting for a server to come by, Stan goes straight to the counter to order. You sit down in a pleasantly unsticky booth to wait for him, and notice that Stan has left his jacket on the seat next to you. Let's put it on. In no time, Stan returns with 2 orders of fries and 2 shakes. He grins when he sees his jacket draped over your shoulders. Hope you don't mind, I was feeling a bit chilly.
Now that one looks great on ya, and it's not wet this time.
He sits, sliding in next to you.
It's been a long time since I just got fries and a shake from an old diner. Not usually something people my age do, I guess.
When was the last time?
Sweet Moses, decades ago. Long before you were born, I'm sure.
Does it live up to the nostalgic "I was born in the wrong era" hype?
Oh, price-wise, absolutely. Shakes were 37 cents and fries were 30 tops. At that price point, these days I could buy lunch for the whole town. Of course I wouldn't, but you get what I mean.
I wish things were still like that. That'd be awesome. He laughs, stirring his shake with his straw. Must have been nice, being able to afford basic necessities and luxuries, minimum wage being up to par and all.
Hey, thought we were supposed to be having fun here.
I am! Creating a dialogue is important. Ready to dig in properly, you take a fry and dip it into your chocolate shake. I never do that, actually. Stan, handful of fries, ready to be shoved into his gaping mouth, looks at you like you just screamed bloody murder. Look, the real me would never do that, but okay. What?
Did you just...
What? You never tried it?
No, of course not.
It's delicious. Perfect mix of sweet and salty. Like me. Salty sweet Ren. Maybe I should actually try that sometime. Stan frowns. Don't knock it till you try it. He scoffs, picking up a fry and dipping it into your shake instead of his own, and pops it into his mouth. His eyes widen as he chews, silent until he swallows.
That's actually not half bad.
I'll steal one of his fries, I think. Seizing the moment he's off guard, you reach over and snatch a fry off his plate.
Hey!
Payback! Stan picks up your shake and takes a big old swig. Hey! He sets it back down, licking his lips triumphantly. He's missed a spot, though, and there's a bit of chocolate left on the side of his smirking mouth. Let's wipe it off for him. Hey, Stan, you've got some... You lift your hand to his face and wipe the chocolate away with your thumb. Stan's breath hitches at your touch. When you absent-mindedly lick the chocolate away, he's nearly beet red. You soon slip into that comfortable silence again as you survey the crowd and the couples on the dance floor. Everyone seems to be having a good time. It's nice seeing others enjoy something Stan helped put on. It seems he does more good than he likes to admit himself. When he's not going on crime sprees or getting arrested, at least. Soon, you're to the ends of your cups and have picked up the last bits of your fries.
Hey, you want to get out of here?
Lead the way. Soon, you're back in the old Diablo, engine purring to life as Stan screeches out of the little parking lot and onto Main Street. Back in the car with Stan. With the way he drives, you honestly don't know how he keeps his car in such good shape, even with his mechanic skills. But eventually, your speed becomes reasonable, as Stan transitions from the asphalt road to dirt, and you're left to realize your quickened pulse isn't due to his driving, but from anticipation. You taking me for some late-night errands again?
Nah, thought we could just see where the road takes us.
You know, for a small town, it sure is huge.
Tell me about it. This forest is more of a trap than the shack.
I mean, it worked on me just fine.
I can't take the credit on that one.
Sure, Ford's babe magnet might have helped. Stan barks out a laugh at that. But I was drawn to this place on my own, too.
I mean, it's grown on me. Like a fungus, sure, but it has. But I'm not the kind of guy who likes trails or draws gnomes. That's my brother. I'd rather be in the city than the woods. Way fewer bugs, more people to pickpocket, and not everyone knows my face.
So then, how does someone like you end up in a place like this? You said you were from Jersey, right? I know how everyone else has gotten here, but not you. Stan sighs, as if the weight of his whole life story lies with that one question. Luckily, he humors you.
Long story short, my brother and I had a falling out when we were kids. High school. I got kicked out, barely talked to him or my parents for 10 years. He moved here. I spent those years bouncing from state to state. Oregon was one of the few I hadn't been banned from.
I'm sorry. Stan just scoffs.
Yeah, that was far from the worst of it. He asked me to come here, crap hit the fan, and then it was another 30 years before I got to see him again. Didn't even know if he was alive, but the reason he was gone was my fault.
That's terrible.
Yeah, well, it's in the past. Obviously we're close again. Almost too close. Having to live on the boat with a nerd really tried my patience at times, I'll tell you that.
Still, the complaint is fun in its gruffness. I kind of wonder if I screwed up that one interaction right then. But I guess it is something that he would still be super bitter about, but... By now, it feels like you've been driving for a good long while. You're starting to understand really does have no idea where he's going, but the thought stops in its tracks as the car makes a sharp turn on a diverging path. You catch the slightest glimpse of a wooden sign reading, "Do not enter." Stan? Where are we going?
Relax, Ren, I know what I'm doing. There's this real hot spot up ahead on the cliff's edge. Lets you see the whole town and the horizon and everything. Real picturesque.
That sounds amazing. Is this a place where Robbie took Wendy? The car suddenly jerks left, and there's a troubling bump as you go over a large redwood root. That is, if we don't die before we get there.
Sorry, kid, that one was in my blind spot.
It's pitch black outside, Stan. Everything's a blind spot.
Alright, hold on. One more jump and we're in the clear.
I'll hold on. You grasp the back of your seat in one hand, and the car's door handle with another, unsure of how big a bump he has in mind. It's worse than you expected. Stan accelerating enough that you swear the wheels have left the ground, until landing hard enough that Stan finds it necessary to brace you with his own arm, keeping you from slamming your head into the dashboard. Oh boy. One of my favorite views of Gravity Falls in canon. I love it. The Stanmobile pulls up to its destination at the cliff's edge. Just as Stan said, you have a perfect view of the whole town, the surrounding canyon, and the remarkably saucer-esque shape cut into the natural bridge. You catch Stan's pleased grin from the corner of your eye as you gasp, taking it all in. Though the sun has long since set, the small glowing streetlights from the small town illuminate the surrounding trees, providing only a slight hint of the mountain's shadows. I am having trouble reading right now. It's not until seeing it from up here like this that sinks in just how secluded from the world Gravity Falls is. It's almost like a hidden treasure among the evergreens. And though the black, thick forestry behind where you're parked might seem daunting alone at night, here with Stan, it just feels promising.
So I'm guessing you like it, right?
It's beautiful. As you survey the scene, you realize this cliff seems rather untouched, save for a flimsy barrier made of wire and stakes just before its end. How would you find this place?
Well, there's this other spot just like this one I'm told the kids call Lookout Point. It's just across from us, actually.
Stan points to the spot opposite the car, straight ahead. Huh.
The place is infested with teenagers, though. Saw it myself when I drove up here to help Dipper with a girl situation.
Ah, okay, so this is a different place. Teenagers. Gross.
Exactly.
It hits you more fully now that you're here with Stan. alone together, away from the world as you know it. You're thrilled, anxious, and suddenly don't know what to do with your hands. A nervous giggle escapes you, and Stan offers a kind and reassuring smile in return as he slings his arm along the back of his seat, crossing his leg over the other. The casual air is contagious, and you're thankful for it. So, how'd you kill time in a place like this for 30 years? Besides, all the shack and secret portal stuff? Stan laughs, scratching his cheek.
Well, as you know, I'm full of surprises. I'd skip town every now and then for actual supplies or a promising hookup. But as the shack became a household name, I had to stay put for longer and longer. So I'd make do trying to enjoy the small town thing.
You settle in. You're not budging until he elaborates. Like what, though? The fun stuff, like disco nights? Stan scans the horizon, looking for something.
Okay, there. See the bowling place? Used to have a team there. We were really good, thanks to yours truly. Until this wet blanket Toby came on board and had to use bumpers, like a baby.
That must be Toby, determined! I can't do a different Toby voice than the Susan voice, I'm afraid. Again, you didn't mean to laugh. Yikes.
You got that right. Aside from that, there's a great taco joint and bar. The kids like to go to the arcade, and the mini golf place is pretty decent.
He starts counting on his fingers.
There's a mall, a creepy animatronic pizza place, a public pool, which I would not recommend, by the way, unless you're into sitting in strangers' filth.
That all sounds pretty dang fun, minus the filth part, which we actually went to with Ford on one occasion. Back in the Ford route. If you've skipped ahead to Stan's route and have not watched the Ford route, you can go ahead and watch the Ford route to see that. It sounds like there's actually a lot to do around here.
It's weird, ain't it? It's like you'll never hear about a place, but if the situation calls for it, pow! It's right here in town.
You really like hearing Stan talk. About anything, really. The way he emotes with his hands, the grit in his voice, and the gradual increase of enthusiasm when he gets passionate, even about something small. And of course, he never fails to make you laugh. You could listen to him all night long. So you prepare to do just that, adjusting your legs into a more relaxed position. Nothing wrong with taking advantage of the legroom and these wide these wide bench seats. What about... I don't think I'd ask about the graveyard, the factory and the cliff nearby.
You know, I'm surprised that place is even still here. There used to be this attraction in the middle of town. That brat Gideon Gleeful.
Hold on, Gleeful? Like Bud Gleeful, the car dealership guy Gleeful?
Yup, Gideon is Bud's snot-nosed kid. They used to run this scam that made money off poor suckers' hopes and dreams by posing Gideon as a psychic.
Oh no.
It's just as tasteless as you're probably imagining it. He'd even dance around and sing like a monkey in a tux. So what? I had a real monkey at the shack back then. Wore a hat and everything. Anyway, these idiots obviously ate it all up. He became my biggest competition and an even bigger pain in my ass.
I have family around, so I have to be careful.
Their little factories where they used to make his merchandise.
What happened to Gideon?
The kid had some realizations, I guess. Like a lot of people in this town. Supposedly, he's trying to get that silver spoon out of his mouth and be a normal tween like the rest of them, but who knows? Haven't heard a lot about him this visit, so I can't tell you for sure.
That must be a good sign. What about that weirdly shaped building?
That's the club.
You shoot him a look. Stan makes it through his next words, laughing.
That's the name, honest.
You snort. Clever?
The name might be questionable, but the place is nice enough to only let you in if you're rich. Only ever managed to sneak in there once. Bad vibes there, even for somebody like me. Worst of all, the food was mediocre. Not the kind of quality I didn't pay for.
And the graveyard is left.
Ah, nothing special there. Not even that spooky. Sure, the grave of America's lost president is there and something about a national treasure, but I went there myself for artifact inspiration and there wasn't even a decent headstone to steal.
I'm losing Stan's voice. There's a lull in the conversation, a moment where the both of you are simply admiring the view. It seems you've inched your way closer to Stan as he was speaking, because all of a sudden, you realize that your lake isn't all that far from his. The reflection of the outside light on Stan's glasses keeps you from being able to read his expression from this position. Get closer, maybe? I don't know. You very nearly closed the gap between you both, and it would have been smoothed, too, if not for the creak of the patent leather seat as you shifted. Stan's grin tells you noticed. Darn, time for a diversion. What's that on the water tower over there?
Oh, that old chestnut. What's it look like to you?
It looks like a muffin to me. It looks like a muffin. Not sure why anyone would choose that as a symbol for vandalism. Maybe it scares the heck out of anyone with a wheat allergy.
Maybe it's a bran muffin.
He wiggles his fingers like he's telling a spooky story.
With extra raisins. You know, I almost died up there once. It's a real doozy of a story.
You take the bait, and I am losing Stan's voice like it's actually painful now. Oh, do tell. And so he does, with his usual flourish, painting a picture of the time he and his great niece bravely scaled the tower and nearly got shaken from it by a video game character come to life. You find yourself with another chance to move closer. Sure. Stan's speech falters a bit as you inch closer and the side of your hand brushes his, but he continues when you leave it there.
So I say to Mabel, haven't just looked death straight in its dumb, ugly face.
Finally, your thigh meets his, and suddenly he seems to have a pretty persistent itch on the back of his head because he can't stop rubbing it.
And so, that punk Robbie learned his lesson eventually, but you know how his type are.
I think I have an idea, yeah. Your eyes meet Stan's, and you hope to God you can't tell how your heart is hammering in your chest. Screw it. Here goes nothing. You steel your nerves, moving and gently resting your head on Stan's shoulder, leaning into his side. You hold your breath as you focus on the water tower in front of you, worried about what look he could be giving you. Stan clears his throat, pulling his arm away from you, and for a moment, the feeling that you just crossed the line makes you mentally curse yourself. Until he lets out an embarrassingly fake yawn, and his arm above his head and out, resting it across your shoulders. I feel like that was a typo, but I don't know what it's supposed to be. You're so excited by his touch and your success that it takes you a moment to realize. The yawn and stretch. He just used that old cliche. And moreover, it worked. I'll let him enjoy it. You can't help but giggle.
What?
Stan reddens, smiling sheepishly down at you. You attempt to compose yourself. Nothing. You settle into your new spot in his hold, and he seems to relax a bit too. You're lucky you're so cute and endearing. Stan's chest puffs out at that with a laugh. Oh, you just said that out loud, didn't you?
You'll be surprised at how little I've heard that before.
Now that you're against his side, you really don't know what to do with your hands. Are they feeling a little extra sweaty? Curse these leather seats. I feel like, I feel like that would probably not be, like, good for the situation. This seems a little bit more sexually charged, and this one seems a little bit more cuddly. So I'll go with the cuddly one. Just do it. It's fine. It's like a hug, no big deal. You're basically holding each other while dancing tonight, right? Your arm ever so slightly comes to rest on his torso in a sort of loose embrace. You sigh in relief as Stan makes a sound of contentment and shifts his arm to account for your new place. For a moment, you dare not say a thing and instead close your eyes. There's that scent again. That overtone of cheap cologne mingled with leather, cigar smoke, and salt. From this proximity, in this car, it's just the right kind of overwhelming. You really can't believe this. Never in your wildest imagination could you imagine how your solo summer road trip would work out. But in this moment, you really can't imagine it any other way. You're just happy. Oh, there we go. Hey, Stan?
Yeah?
Thanks for your help. His eyes meet your own as he smiles down at you.
No problem, kid. It's what kind souls like me do.
You really are a lifesaver. Seriously, my car would have been a goner. And you rescued me from being bled dry by a mechanic, too. You can feel the rumble in Stan's chest as he hums.
Crooks, all of them. Not even charismatic about it.
That's certainly a plus, too. Your hand moves upward to his broad chest, just below the open V of his shirt. I'm not only thankful for a place to freeload, though, Stan. I've actually had a really incredible time here. Seriously, I'm the luckiest person to ever be ripped out of the forest with their car, since it was by such a nice family.
Better than a simple trip to the Mystery Shack, huh?
Definitely. You know what? Let's tell him. Mabel's words come back to you, and despite your doubts begging you not to say anything stupid, your heart is yelling at you to tell him already. You know what? Yeah. If everything goes south, you're already about to pack your bags and leave. You never even have to think the name Gravity Falls ever again. Alright, yeah, here it goes. Stan, I really like you. You focus on the gold chain just by your fingertips and toy with it, avoiding eye contact to keep your nerves while you've got them. You can hear him swallow thickly despite your heart thrumming in your ears. I've really enjoyed getting to know you these past couple weeks. Even when you got me shot at, I can't tell you how much of a relief it's been to not only escape death by a complete boredom, but also to find myself having some of the most fun I've ever had, period. You need an extra gulp of air for this next part. Thank you for tonight. I'm glad you brought me here. And I'm gonna miss you. Oh. A glance up, and there Stan is, looking at you with a mix of emotions you can't quite place. You think you feel his pulse skip a beat under your palm, and you're sure your own does the same as he looks away. His pronounced jawline is further exaggerated in the shadows, and you see it clench before he faces you again. You don't know who leans in first, or more, or anything. But suddenly Stan's hand is cupping your face and his lips are on yours. Oh. It's sweet, but somewhat clumsy, and as his glasses remind you of their existence by hitting you in the cheek as he leans in close. You can't help but hum against his lips. And, oh god, you forgot to breathe. You part, both of you breathing just a bit heavier than before. Stan's big dumb grin is accompanied by pink-dusted cheeks.
Are you okay?
Why wouldn't I be? You laugh. Me? Oh, I'm more than okay. What about you? He chuckles.
Pretty good.
You're about to say something more when Stan looks sharply up. Following his gaze, you spot twin lights on the cliff across from yours. Headlights.
Oh great, just what we needed. Guess we should start heading back.
He offers you an apologetic smile. We should, but can we take the scenic route?
Yeah, absolutely.
I have no idea whether I did good or not so good, but I feel like I did okay. Luckily, the scenic route is also the long way home. You were mostly joking about a scenic route back to the shack during this time of night, but both Gravity Falls and Stan have a way of amazing you to no end. Little bioluminescent mushrooms are sprinkled along the path, on the trees in perfect rings. Stan drives slowly and you take advantage of it to marvel at the greenish glow. This is incredible.
There's a lot more where these came from. Or so I've heard. There's a gnome forest somewhere around here. Never been, cause, well, gnomes. But maybe Ford can let us know if there's something around like it without the pests.
You rest your head on the windowsill, watching the toadstools of all shapes and sizes go by, counting them. I'd really like that. With each passing minute, the rumble of the road and the thrum of the car seem to add another weight to your eyelids, and suddenly your fatigue catches up with you.
You alright?
You hum an affirmative, and Stan takes you at your word. Well, this could be better. Sliding up next to him, you bring Stan's free arm that's not on the wheel around yourself, like it was earlier this evening, and he chuckles. The free arm is on the windowsill, though that'd be a pretty awkward angle.
That's right. Get yourself comfortable.
You let your eyes fall closed, content. Wake me up if there's a nymph or something.
Will do, Ren.
And we're so close to the end, but I think that was also the last event. So I think we got about the same... Yeah. I think we got about as far as we did with Ford's route. So I think that this will wrap up this episode. This is a really long episode. Almost 50 minutes. So anyway, if you guys enjoyed, please go ahead and hit the like button and leave a comment down below telling me your thoughts. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit subscribe and you'll be notified whenever any of my other videos come out. I'm already thinking of something to replace Swooning Over Stans when I finish it, because we're almost done with it, clearly. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do exactly. I might do, there's something I've seen there's a game called Degrees of Separation, which looks interesting. But if there's anything else out there that you guys would like to recommend, please do. And I will see you guys in the next video. Stay safe out there, friends.